Okay, so getting off work. This will be my my commute home. Don't just get on the bike. I'll turn the power on. Okay, cool. Go drop off my log. Turn in my daily log. And you can see this is just part of the warehouse for the wire of the bolt manufacturing company. All this wire gets fed in through a header machine and gets turned into bolts and screws. It's all white because it goes in a dip tank and then they coat it with lime. It's kind of a corrosion preventive. So let me get out here and I'll punch out real quick. This stupid thing. There we go. All right, so the commute home it's going to be a little nicer than it was on the commute in today. It was like 43 degrees this morning when I left the house. Let's see if I can bump this up to about 3 on the pedal assist. Now it's like 68 degrees, mild winds, sun's out. And what I like about my commute on the way home is the sun is at my back, so I don't have to wear sunglasses. I don't have to deal with that glare. That's some pretty good bumps there. Glass on the sidewalk. That's why I'm glad I got these tires on here. I put the machine codes on here and I have ridden over some debris and I've never gotten a flat yet. So as I said in my other videos, I usually, I always pedal my bike, but I usually ride a little faster. I'm just taking it easy so I don't get so much wind noise on the mic. At least that's the theory. That's what I'm trying to accomplish. You know, from doing these ride-alongs and I'm talking, I try to keep my speed at about 20 miles an hour. This can be kind of a crazy intersection, and then now they got construction going in it. I just wait my turn. Big truck, tow truck. I've been hooked up to one of them before. That's no fun. That means you're gonna have a long day. Okay, right turn traffic. They got a green light. Ooh, semi. Hope you don't go up over the curb.
Sorry, boss man.
I don't get all bent out of shape over stuff like that. I just let them go. Well, I got an east wind today. It means the wind's right in my face. So I hope it's not too bad on the mic. I kind of got it tucked in a little bit. Hopefully it's not too bad. So I had a long day at work today. Had problems. Had to take my truck in for service. Ripped a mud flap off my trailer. Had to go get a mud flap put on. Because it's illegal to run without a mud flap on a big truck. So had to go get one put on, and then I still had to finish up my run for the day. So I had an 11 hour day today. It was kind of a long day, but you know what, this is what it's all about. And I get on this bike and it's, I don't know, I just enjoy it so much. It's very pleasurable for me. So I get on this bike at the end of a day like that, even a stressful day, and all my problems just kind of go away. Now I just concentrate on my ride and what I see, the sights that I see. All the times I've crossed that railroad track on my bike, I've never had a train. I have in my car, I have in the big truck, but I never have on my bike. Okay, this is Groesbeck Highway. There's been more accidents at this intersection, so I don't play. I wait for the lights. It's like I probably could have gone, but I don't have, no, see, it wouldn't have been smart. I wait for the walk sign. This is one intersection I don't play around with. This highway is notorious for, there's been a lot of deaths on this highway. It's very, very busy, very congested. It's 45 to 50 mile an hour speeds, and people always exceed that. And you know how it is today. Everybody's on the phone. Nobody pays attention to their driving. So when I ride my e-bike, I ride it with the same attitude when I'm on a motorcycle. I just have the attitude that every car out there wants to run into you. And as long as you have that defensive approach, you'll live to ride another day. Okay, I got a walk signal. Make sure I got no cars that are going to turn left into me. I kind of ride slow through this section because you never know when a car is going to pull out. But this is what I like about, you know, e-bikes or bicycles in general. When you're commuting, you can ride them on the sidewalk. That way you're safe. You're not out in traffic. You're not causing congestion and slowing vehicles down and watch this truck. Okay. He saw me. Got a strong east wind today. It doesn't seem that strong when you're sitting still, but when you're riding into it, you can tell it's definitely, you got a strong east wind today, which is unusual for us. We usually have west, northwest, north-northwest. So this is a pretty relaxing ride. I like this, going through the neighborhoods like this. I only have that one short section where I have to be on the sidewalk to stay off the busy road. So this is my favorite part. This road is nice and wide. Hey, like I say, it's through a residential neighborhood. It leaves lots of room for the cars to get by. And normally, I'm in pedal assist 4 or 5, and I kind of fly through here. But I'm pedaling, you know, so not that big of a deal. People know I'm on a bike. This stop sign, this is one that I usually blow through because there's hardly ever any traffic coming from the side street. See, I look, I don't see nothing, I just go. Will I do that on the busy roads? No. In the subdivision, okay. In this residential area, okay. But then I got to tell you, I really like this bike. This Ariel Rider is just it's exceeded my expectations. Now, you know, if you watch some of my other videos, I made a lot of changes to this, and the only really, you know, most of the stuff that I did was all, it's either cosmetic or comfort. You know, I put the high handlebars on, and you know, I put the lights on it and the horn and mirrors and all that kind of stuff. You know, my cell phone holder, and I got my trunk on the back to carry my lunch and my thermos in for commuting back and forth to work. Ooh, that's a strong wind. But I haven't, you know, the only mechanical change I've done to it is the bigger sprocket on the front, on the crank. Wow, that wind got strong. So, and that just allows me to get a little more range because I can pedal at a higher rated speed. It gets me up in, you know, a higher pedal assist. But other than that, I haven't done anything, you know, I haven't changed the controller or, you know, nothing like that. Haven't messed with it to increase the speed. I'm happy with it the way it is. You know, I pedal, I usually average 20, 23 miles, 24 miles, something like that. You know, depending on my energy level for the day. I go, you know, anywhere between 20 and 25, so, you know, that's fine. If I really want to, I can crack the throttle and go faster, you know. This is a four-way stop that I will usually stop at because it's a busy stop. And oftentimes there's a cop sitting there. So, but all in all, you know, I'm really happy with the you know, the Ariel Rider X-Class. If there was, you know, I got a couple things that I'm going to do. One is the spring that's on this, on the rear shock, is way too stiff. I mean, you know, the bike comes with passenger foot pegs, and if you get the longer seat option for it, you can ride a passenger on it. You know, it's got enough power to do that. I never will. In fact, I'm probably going to end up taking the foot pegs off. So the spring that's on the shock, there's nothing wrong with the shock. The shock itself works okay. It only has adjustment for spring preload adjustment and rebound adjustment, but it's fine. I mean, it's, for most of the areas I ride in, it's more than adequate. It's just the spring is way too stiff. It's got 1,000-pound spring in it. Okay, now that would be good for two people. For one person, I'm looking at, you know, like a 500-pound spring, 550, something like that. It'll soften up the ride a little bit more. The front fork, it's fine. You know, the suspension on the front fork is fine. It absorbs the bumps, and, you know, when I'm on the sidewalk or rough pavement or whatever, it works fine. Now, one thing that I notice, and I'm going to jump up on the sidewalk here. One thing that I noticed, whoa, look at these branches are low, is that excuse me while I dodge these branches. One thing that I noticed, and it's not just with this bike, it seems to be with all of the Chinese bikes. Eventually, some do it right away, some do it eventually, and it's brake squeak. And I don't know if you hear me when I'm coming to a stop, you hear my brakes squeaking. It's annoying. Having said that, these hydraulic brakes that are on these bikes today are just phenomenal. They're awesome. If you've not ridden a bike with hydraulic brakes, you're in for a treat when you do, because It's one or two fingers is all you need. The stopping power on these brakes is just phenomenal. Now, most of the Chinese bikes, and there's a ton of them sold in this country because, well, they're cheap. You know, I paid $2,200 for my Ariel Rider X-Class, and you know, a comparable European bike, and I mean, I really like the European bikes, but you're going to pay double to triple to get into a European bike. Now they have a lot better features. They have better brakes. They run Magura brakes, whereas the Chinese bikes, most of them run these Tektros. But the brake squeak is annoying. I broke it in, I bedded the brakes the way you're supposed to do it. When I assembled it, I got some brake disc cleaner and I cleaned the rotors and all that. I did everything that I was supposed to do, and they still squeak. Sometimes on real hard braking, they really squeak. Now, what causes brake squeak is chatter or vibration. It's the pad chattering against the rotor and the caliper. Now, on a car, when you change your brake disc pads, they have like an adhesive you spray on the back of the pads. Wow, it's windy. So what that adhesive does is it kind of bonds the brake pad to the caliper piston, and that reduces that chatter and that vibration. So I may try that on this bike. I don't know of any company out there yet that's making pads with a different material that maybe wouldn't chatter as bad. So the Tektro brakes are a single piston, whereas the European bikes, they run Magura brakes and they're a dual piston, and you generally don't hear them squeaking. But that's a minor, it's just an annoyance is all it is. The stopping power on the brakes on this bike is just absolutely incredible. Now, like I said, I'm very, very happy with this bike. It has exceeded my expectations. Would I buy it again? Absolutely I would, in a heartbeat. I still think it was the best bang for the buck as far as buying an e-bike goes. I bought this one because even though it comes shipped as a class 2, I did the same thing everybody does. I unlocked it so I can go a little faster. The reason I really bought this one was because of the 1,000-watt hub motor. It just gives you a little more oomph on your takeoff. I'm not, wasn't really like super crazy about going as fast as I can. The bike will do 30, 32 if I want it to. But most of the time I don't ride it that fast. Like I say, most of the time I'm pedaling. If I didn't have this mic on my lapel right now, I would be going much faster. But I got the wind right in my face, and I'm concerned about whether or not you guys are going to be able to hear anything I'm talking about. So here's where the throttle's good. A little burst of energy. But yeah, if I was if I could have my dream bike, it would be this bike with a dual battery option. And I wish they would make a kit for it, Ariel Rider, that you could bolt on underneath the rear rack. There's a perfect place for it right there. Yeah, I know I can get the battery blender, and see, that person didn't even see me. He was looking the other way. you know, and I can get a battery, a triangle battery, and hang it underneath the bike on the frame. And I just don't like the way those look. I don't like my battery dangling, getting beat up. I like it a little more rigid mounted. But that would be my only, if I wanted, if I had a wish, that would be it. Having said that, I'm also, you know, I never run out of battery on my Commute. Look, I'm almost home and I still got 3 bars on the battery. So, you know, I have plenty of range. I haven't even used half my battery. My round trip Commute is 6.5 miles each way, so round trip Commute is 13 miles. Now, right now I've got 259 miles on here. I'll have maybe at 260 plus maybe by the time I get home. But no, you know, if I could get a dual battery Grizzly with the dual rear shocks and one motor, that would be me. Because it already has the high handlebars that I like, and you know, for me, a single 1,000-watt motor, it's enough. This park has disc golf, so I always see. I mean, they're all over there. People come from all over to use this park for the disc golf. All right, I got cars coming. I got to turn here. Putting handicap ramps in front of the church here, so it looks like they're also going to put a light in, which I think is really cool. Put a crossing light in. It's a really nice church. Okay, this is my sub. I really love how it's springtime here. Springtime has been slow coming, which suits me just fine because the temps have been right up my alley. 50s, 60s, low 70s occasionally. You know, like today, 60s, upper 60s, that's perfect for me. I don't like the heat. I can't deal with the heat very well. But I mean, everything is so green right now. It's just, look at this, look at the greenery. I just love it. In fact, I may have to cut my grass when I go home. Right now it's growing so fast I'm cutting it twice a week. Yeah, other than all my lawn equipment's cordless. It's all battery powered. My lawnmower, I got an Eagle lawnmower, Eagle blower, Eagle chainsaw. I mean, I got a bunch of chainsaws, but I got one of their electric chainsaws. I got a cordless weed whip. But this is my first electric mode of transportation, and I got to tell you, I absolutely love it. I have so much fun on this bike. I hardly ever drive my truck anymore. I've had it a year, and I just turned 4,000 miles on it. I'll go 3 weeks without putting gas in it, and then I'll only put a quarter tank in it. Now, I like my little truck. I got a Toyota. Look at that grass. Man, it's just growing like crazy. All right, so I'm home. Thanks for riding along with me, listening to my thoughts about e-bikes or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna turn my power off. I got 3 bars still. I could ride a long ways. All right, I'm going to turn the camera off. If I can find it, it's on my head.